Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. Tower Talk Business Radio brings you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation, including expert consultants and small business owners who have found success, but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their first-hand experience. And now, let's get down to business with Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Nephew Business Banking, along with Donyshia Boston Hill, CEO, Keeper of the Brand Marketing and Digital Agency. And we're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship.
Ray and I bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview the top business leaders in the industry.
So, it's another week.
It is, and I'm truly excited. I've been editing video for the last couple of days, and I'm just truly a believer that what did we do for years without video on our cell phones, on our smartphones, and having it easily accessible? I
know. I feel like all I do all day and all the kids do all day is we watch the screens. We watch the videos on the screens.
We do. So I think video is definitely an effective form of communication and needs to be integrated in every aspect of marketing. And that's a little quote that I saw from James Weedmore.
Very nice. Wow. It's true. It needs to be everything. And I think we have a little help with that today, because helping provide us with business empowerment is our guest, Adrienne Nicole, CEO of Adrienne Nicole Productions. Now, Adrienne Nicole is an Emmy-nominated producer, writer, director, and she's recorded her first interview at age 6. She knew that storytelling was her passion, and she has a powerhouse brand that produces video content for A-list clients, including Walmart, Ford, TV One, Merck, and the Arthritis Foundation, and more. I've heard of a few of those. In addition to the Emmy nomination, she received an Achievement Award from the New York Association of Black Journalists for her work on MTV's Growing Up Black in America. A lupus patient and advocate. She served as president for the SLE Lupus Foundation, the Young Leadership Board, and has become a highly respected public speaker, panelist, and lecturer, moderating worldwide conversations on balancing everyday life and diagnosis. Whew! So, welcome aboard, Adrienne.
Thank you so much for having me.
Very cool to have you on the show today. So you're going to help us with all things video, right?
That's the plan. I'm
going
to do what I can.
Now, how'd you get started with this?
Okay, well, I mean, I can take this way back, actually all the way back to high school. I went to a specialized high school in New York City, in Brooklyn Tech, and majored in media back then. I figured out essentially exactly what I wanted to do when I was around 16, which is kind of early, and went into broadcast journalism at the University of Maryland and started off as a news producer. And actually, even before I graduated, I started working at Chappelles Show and at Showtime at the Apollo on my summers and winter breaks off of college, and got a really early look into what production looked like, what it was like to work in TV, how to interact with people and talent. And when I graduated and started working at a local news station, I sort of had a little bit of experience already, but I was a 21-year-old at the helm of a 6 p.m. news show in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So I wasn't doing it in New York, but, my first gig was out in Allentown. And after a year of doing that, when my contract was up, I realized I don't want to do this anymore. I was chasing ambulances, and it was exhausting and, frankly, kind of depressing. So I took a 180, went into entertainment news, and came back to New York. And so I started working at MTV and doing their news and docs and their 15 to the hours, which don't exist anymore. But it was a welcome change, and it gave me a different sort of experience. And then as I sort of made my way through there, did shows for CMT and then BET, and in the midst of working on their digital content, which was like a new thing back then, I found myself sick. And so I was diagnosed with lupus, and then had to figure out what to do with my career and my workflow and how I was going to continue to be, some sort of success in life. And so I figured out, I decided actually that the best way for me to manage my health and to manage my career was to start a business. And that initially, gave me the flexibility to be able to take care of me and then also take care of my livelihood. And it has been an amazing ride since. There have been ups and downs in the business. There have been ups and downs in my health, and my health has been amazing since I started the business. So I think this is part of helping me out there. But that's a lot of bit about me, and that's how I started Adrienne Nicole Productions. Is really out of a need and not necessarily a deep desire, but it turned into something that I love and that I just could not imagine doing anything else right now.
Now, Adrienne, we see you on ad campaigns all over New York City, spearheading the MWBE New York City, contracting campaigns that they have out there. Tell us a little bit about that journey, because that's just a whole different world when it comes to having a business and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so I certified the company a year after it was established. I came through the city's Fast Track program, and for those who don't know what the Fast Track program is, it is I think it's a 2-week-long program where they essentially set you up for your business. So you go through, you get through with a business plan, you develop your marketing plan, you talk about target markets, you learn how to pitch yourself and all of that. And they were very adamant about promoting the MWBE program. So I knew about it very early on in the business. And so once I certified, I kind of was like, all right, cool, I'm certified. Now I can get contracts. And that's not exactly how that works.
You mean they didn't just come rolling in?
I'm like, what happened? I thought because I signed the papers, I'm good to go. The city should be calling me every day. That didn't happen. And so I, figured out how to, what the process really was. And the same way I had to market to my corporate clients, I needed to market that same way to the government. And, after sort of beating the pavement, pounding the pavement, and connecting with folks at SBS Small Business Services, and being strategic about how to target certain agencies and connect with procurement officers and figure out how to respond to RFPs and discretionary contracts and what all of these different things mean. I began to see success in acquiring contracts. There is a process to all of this, and I always encourage people to outline the way they're going to approach the government, just because it's different. The proposals you develop are going to be a little different. The loopholes, or not loopholes, but the exact science that there is to filling out or responding to an RFP is a real thing. You forget to dot that I, you are out of there. So I found success, and now I've worked with the New York City Emergency Management, with the Department of Consumer Affairs, the Commission of Human Rights, Department of Health, and they have been very good and consistent clients. And, my approach to working with the government was essentially to acquire contracts to keep the lights on. Those are where the long-term contracts are in my industry, you know, I figured, hey, if I can snag a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year contract with the city or even the state, then I can, you know, maintain the company while we target our other corporate clients. Because our corporate clients, they may produce 3 projects a year, but the government may be producing something once a month, once every other month. And so that can keep everyone fed.
Gotcha. You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston Hill, and our guest today is Adrienne Nicole, CEO, Adrienne Nicole Productions. So tell us a bit about what you like to focus on with your clients now with Adrienne Nicole Productions.
So I really want to ensure that I wholly understand what they do and why people should care, right? So it's my job to boil down someone's entire purpose into video content that's anywhere between 15 seconds to 2 minutes. And that's a challenge. So I need to know what's the most important thing for people to know, then who that target market is, then how to get that message out. And I can't do any of that without really understanding the heartbeat of the company or the heartbeat of the brand and why people should use your good or service. So we spend a lot of time just figuring out the why and figuring out what a company does.
So I feel like all good, hardworking entertainment, marketing, media folks get their start in radio. So we see that you started at New York station here, WBLS, and from there, you know, just really set your tone in media overall. But can you share with us just, you know, your overall creative thought process of, you know, and what you've learned along the way that you've taken to Adrienne Nicole from working with some of these major brands, from working with MTV, CMT, and BET?
Yeah, so I think that starting with the big companies really set a level of professionalism, a level of being the best, having to bring my best to the table, having to be extremely creative from a very early point in my career. And it really set me up well for dealing with other clients that, you know, may be smaller, that may not have the same background knowledge as a WBLS, as an MTV. You know, I'm not really, you know, I really wasn't bringing all of my expertise to them in the beginning. They were teaching and honing me and helping to build me as a professional, since they were well-oiled machines by the time I got there. So I think that it just really forced me to take things up to the next level. I mean, when I started the company, was able to start the company with a very high level of production quality because I launched with people who were editing and shooting for me at MTV, you know, and to be a rookie company with that sort of talent really set us apart from a lot of our competition. So I am very thankful to the experience and the relationships that I was able to build starting sort of at the big, with these larger companies.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Adrienne Nicole, CEO of Adrienne Nicole Productions. My name is Donyshia Boston Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We're powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. I'm Donyshia Boston Hill, along with Ray Schwetz, and our guest today is Adrienne Nicole, CEO of Adrienne Nicole Productions.
Okay, Adrienne, before we ask you more business questions, I have to put on my fanboy hat here and ask you about the Chappelles Show. Do you have any cool stories or anything about working on that show that we could hear about?
Oh, gosh. Ooh, let me see. What can I say?
What are you allowed to say
right,
on
that
radio?
won't get us kicked off the air.
I know. That's why I'm trying to think about that. Well, I actually worked on the pilot. Okay, so yeah, this is direct.
Okay, so otherwise you could just message me separately. But
right,
no, go ahead.
I might have to send you a text. It was a fun show, a really fun crew, and I worked on the pilot. Like I said, I was still in college, so I was a casting assistant, and we had did not cast enough extras for our pop copy episode. And if you're a fan, if you're a fanboying right now, you should know Pop Copy. It's one of the more popular episodes, and I found myself on camera. So we ran out of people, so we had to pull from the crew, and so I had like a cameo in the background. I was the one fiddling with the copier. So it was so exciting and cool, and a couple people recognized the back of my head, which was really random. But that was cool. My first, entree to being on camera.
There you go.
No, Chappelle Show is good times. I worked with Ashley Larry for a couple of years.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
That's very cool. All right. I appreciate that just because I had once you mention that, I'm like, I have to slip it in somehow.
No worries.
So thank you for that. Now, getting back into the business of things, tell me how you've impacted some of your clients, because obviously, fitting a story into a 2-minute video, it's got to be really tough. So tell me a story about how you did something for a client that really impacted them.
Yeah, so I think the stories that we produce that really have the largest impact are the ones for our either nonprofit organizations or, even a project that we did for Walmart was around their Fight Hunger campaign. And it was something that was really, that it feels great to be able to do work, but it feels even better to do something that really affects the community at large. And so we cast a pastor actually who had grown up with food insecurity and did not always have something to eat or did not necessarily have enough to eat. Wow. And she told her personal story about growing up with her grandma, and we used this narrative to be able to promote the campaign, to encourage people to use a hashtag, just hashtag Fight Hunger, and Walmart was going to donate 10 meals per hashtag to Feeding America. And there were millions of people, who were hashtagging Fight Hunger, so then you've got millions of meals that, people who didn't necessarily have anything to eat that night are now going to have something to eat. And so that is incredibly powerful to be able to play a part in something so impactful and really life-changing. Yeah,
no, obviously, yeah. If there's passion behind it like that, now, obviously, you have a cause that's very close to your heart, being, a patient and an advocate for people with lupus. So tell us a little bit about some of that work.
Yes. So first, just to explain lupus. Lupus is an autoimmune disease in which the immune system attacks healthy tissue in the body. So it can attack the kidney, it can attack the heart, it can attack the brain, it can attack the skin, anything. And it's caused by an overactive immune system. So lupus patients are always on a quest to quiet the immune system. Now, when I was diagnosed in 2009, just had my 10-year anniversary on April 1st, April Fool's.
Oh, wow.
Right.
God bless you.
Thank you. I kind of kicked myself into high gear to figure out, what does this mean for my life? What does this mean for other people's lives? And, how can I get this under control? And once I did, I wanted to be able to share that information and story with other people. So I've, made a major change in starting the business, and that helped to manage my stress levels. I made a major change in diet and exercise. I'm very serious. I was at the gym before I talked to you guys this morning. And my work with the SLE Lupus Foundation, which is now the Lupus Research Alliance, continues in being able to spread awareness. So I go and speak to other patients. I speak to caregivers. I speak to scientists and epidemiologists and to explain the patient experience so that they can take that information with them into the research that they do and really put a face to the science, and I always am, saying, hey, you're doing this for real people, and understand that these technologies, these advancements in lupus research and treatment development really do make a difference, and they really do matter. So as a lupus advocate, I just want to make life better for other patients. I want to evoke hope in lives of people who really feel unwell. And it's hard sometimes to stay positive when you don't feel well, but that's my quest. I just want to encourage people to understand that life is not over and that life is just different, and you can really still thrive in this different type of life.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston Hill, and our guest today is Adrienne Nicole, CEO, Adrienne Nicole Productions. Now, what do you do for downtime? Because you're an awfully busy lady.
Yeah, down what? I find
we know you go to the gym. I'm already ashamed of myself. Thanks very much. But what else do you do?
I really find the simple things very, pleasing to me. They really please me. I like to sit around and talk to friends, to family. When I have a chance, every Saturday, me and my mom and sister, we brunch. It's like no one can interfere with brunch. So that's something that is on the calendar consistently. I also like to, if I have if I don't have a lot of time, I'll take short trips and just, decompress. If I make a quick trip to, let's say, D.C., and then I'm going to go to the spa while I'm there. I'm going to go to the museum. I'm going to hang out with friends. So that's sort of how I, spend my free time.
It's important to reconnect with family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in doing all that and decompressing and going to the gym, is that how do you stay motivated?
Yeah. So, every now and again, I think you all know, as an entrepreneur, things can become overwhelming. And I have a moment where I'm like, man, I wish I could just clock in and clock out. And then I think about what that 9 to 5 life was like. And then I am re-energized to get right back in. I say, at this point, I do not, and I actually know that I could not go back to such a kind of structured 9 to 5 life. And that really motivates me, and just knowing that I must keep on. Also, I have employees who need to eat. So
That's
they motivate me. Yeah. I would feel awful if we're not doing, and if I'm not doing my job to make sure that their checks are still coming, that their families are fed, so they push me.
Now, speaking of the employees, what do you look for in some employees doing the type of work that you do?
Yeah, so, I guess part of the beauty of this industry is that it does require specific skills, right? So you either know how to shoot or you don't. You know how to edit or you don't. So there, it's pretty cut and dry, and finding the right people and the style that I like. Now, when looking at soft skills, I am always looking for committed employees, people who are really invested in the brand, invested in the work that we do, and, who will, essentially go hard for it. I try to keep everyone excited and motivated about the work that we do by ensuring that we incorporate sort of the, work that actually has impact on people and on everyday people. And then even in our entertainment content, that it's exciting and that it's fun and that it's interesting. So I think that it's helped us retain really great crew, really great staff. And obviously, as in any business, some people are a good fit, some people aren't a good fit. And once we identify, hey, maybe you're not a good fit, or they identify that they aren't a good fit, then we can part ways amicably. But I am always looking for people who are passionate, and I think once you find folks who are passionate, they stick around.
And what are some of the things, your accomplishments that you're most proud of?
Well, one of the, I guess, there are a list of things. I'm always excited about the whole Emmy nomination thing. That's like a big deal.
Yeah.
That was exciting, and I hope to acquire some more, moving on in my career. But really, the two things that I'm really proud of are, just my lupus advocacy is a major part of my life, and in talking to people and understanding how they are truly either motivated or encouraged by something that I've said or something that I'm just doing in my life, really warms my spirit. Like, it's just, it feeds me. I really thrive on that. Another project on the business side, when I produced True Life, I'm an alcoholic. And we followed this young lady who was drinking her life away. And it was sad. It was really hard to watch. It was hard to film. But afterwards, we had a good talk with her. And we said, now that the cameras are down, we can't interfere with a doc while you're shooting. But once the cameras were down and we were wrapped, we were like, you've got to change, your life. And after she saw herself on camera, she dropped alcohol.
Wow.
And to do work that has that sort of impact is like mind-blowing. It's like this woman was going to drink herself to death. She was doing such dangerous things that we couldn't even follow her doing, because we weren't going to put ourselves in that situation. But she changed her life because we put a mirror in her face, and so I'm incredibly proud of that.
That is great. Well, as we close, what's the best way for you to be contacted?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me on producedbyanp.com is the website, producedbyanp, and you can use that as a handle on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So Produced by AMP. You can get us there.
Thank you. Well, thanks for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston Hill, your co-hosts and producers. The creative director of Tower Talk Business Radio is Rudy Breedy. This is an NCC Foundation Business Leaders Council production. Visit ncc.edu/WHPC for more information. Available on iHeartRadio as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll talk with you next week.